Welcome back, Truth Seeker. August 11th, 2023. CNN's big story on this Friday, after days of coverage of Maui burning, is that how a town in Maui is completely gone. Lahaina is destroyed. And so often on this date, we're talking about the same topic, a natural disaster, almost unprecedented major destruction. And as we've pointed out so many times, I've had this article written since 2019, March of 2019. And we were talking about this, even before this article was written. But anyhow, August 11th, 1987 is the patent date for HAARP, which became a U.S. military technology that had the ability to influence weather. And again, weather control is something that was talked about by JFK. Lyndon Johnson gave the speech on "He who controls the weather controls the world." Again, it's a lot to explain to the person who's completely clueless, but psychopaths run our government, and they want to force through policies, and they need to get us on board. And again, one of those policies that's really being jammed through is this Green New Deal, and they need these environmental catastrophes to justify what they're going to do and have planned. Again, look into Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. But in Gematria, that's the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, which is important for these psychopaths. Notice how natural disaster equals 223, and so does high frequency active auroral research program, which is what the technology is that was patented on this day, August 11th, the 223rd day of the year. And again, what we're talking about day after day, and we've been talking about for a decade, is how our federal government, a lot of history, it's clearly being conducted by this code because it's being conducted in large part by an order, the Jesuits, the military order of the Catholic Church, again, the same Catholic Church that gave us the language we're speaking right now and the calendar that we tell time by. But anyhow, 223rd day of the year, technology that has the ability to influence the weather. If you're destroyed by weather, it's hard to blame that on somebody else. Sophisticated technology, trickery, almost like magic. Now notice, August 11th, 1987, it was a date with 44 numerology. HAARP, the acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. HAARP is 44, like military. They say this technology can send frequency that bounces off the ionosphere back to Earth and can even quake the ground. That's another claim of HAARP. And it's very interesting to look into the 1989 World Series earthquake 2 years after this technology's patent. But that's a whole other subject. But anyhow, earthquake also 44. And if you're new here, gematria, it's very simple. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z. The 26th letter is 26. It's the alphabetic order in reverse. And then it's both orders with numerology. Primarily talk about just those 4 ciphers. There are some other interesting ciphers. There's one called Satanic Gematria, which is actually very interesting because in the Satanic Gematria cipher, the phrase Satanic Gematria equals 666, the infamous number from Revelation. But anyhow, in Satanic Gematria, earthquake is 457, and just using the most simple cipher, the full name of High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program is 457. Again, HAARP. If you take the alphabetic order in numerology, that's where the name of the system equals 223, going with the 223rd day of the year. So, with regards to this and the point about the 44 date numerology and how that number is connected to HAARP and military, notice the name of this town that CNN is focusing on today. Again, here's CNN's cover page, August 11th. Zoom in so you can see. Setting foot in the charred heart of Lahaina. If I'm saying it right, August 11th, 2023. As the boat approaches Lahaina, the sun is strong, the waves crest into white caps, and on the shore so much is black. Puamana, that must be the native name, is gone, a crew member shouts in shock, looking at one of the resort areas on Maui's western coast that drew tours to the area and is now wrecked by wildfire. The ruins stretch as far as the eye can see, 100-foot coconut trees charred all the way up their trunks. Okay, another very rapid fire. The trees charred up the trunks. I mean, we've seen this so many times, all over the place, California especially. And, this is the anniversary, or actually, I take it back. That was November 8th. It was the other 118 date. Remember in Paradise, California, and Los Angeles, California, both had like record fires on the same day, November 8th, 2018, 118. In Gematria, Paradise, California is 118. So is Los Angeles, California, and LA is also on the 118th meridian west. But 118, for the record, is also a number connected to death. And they're talking about this town that was destroyed, people who died because of the rapid fire, unprecedented. In Gematria, Dora and fire are perfect overlap in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. And they blame the winds of Dora also on how the fire spread. And again, we're documenting this stuff year after year. We've been doing this for a decade now. If you're new here, you need to learn about this knowledge. I've talked about weird stuff going on in Hawaii with the weather warfare before. But, yeah, the name of this town, Lahaina, its gematria is 44. Lahaina, 44. This is the front page of HAARP on the this is the front page of CNN on the anniversary of HAARP. And again, you look into the history of news networks in the U.S., cable news, almost all the original anchors on original television back when news, TV, broadcasting was a thing, brand new thing, almost all of them military educated. You start to realize this nation is a giant military empire, and a lot of things start to make a lot of sense, like using the military in crazy ways to devastate our minds, pull on our heartstrings so that we go along with the next agenda that ultimately chips away at our rights and liberties and quality of life, gives our power to an authority that's supposed to keep us safe from all these problems. Men in caves taking down towers in perfect demolition in New York 44 days after Tisha B'Av. To remember the collapse of the 2 temples instead of the 2 towers. Yeah, they said there was a hurricane outside New York that never made landfall the day of 9/11 too. Just like this Dora thing with Hawaii. But yeah, just the same old patterns. The same old patterns, the same old lessons year after year. And by the way, that native name, Puamana. Puamana is gone. 67 and 22, just like arson. Purposefully set fires and arson. You know what else is wild? Maui. Maui. Look at what Maui is in mythology. Maui is the great culture hero and trickster in Polynesian mythology. Very rarely was Maui actually worshipped, being less of a deity and more of a folk hero. His origins vary from culture to culture, but many of his main exploits remain relatively similar. Tales of Maui's exploits and adventures are told through most of Polynesia. They can be traced back as far as west as islands off New Guinea. Some exploits common to most Polynesian traditions are stealing fire for humans from the underworld, fishing up islands with his magical hook, and capturing the sun to lengthen the days. Did you notice how that CNN article about the burnt up Lahaina? The first sentence, as the boat approaches Lahaina, the sun is strong. And what am I always saying about the sun cult, the Jesuits? Again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to on August 15th, 1952, their birthday, which is fast approaching. But remember, this took over the news on August 9th, the day leaving 144 days left in the year. The founder of the Jesuits, is one of his mottos, go forth and set the world on fire, 144, like Jesuit order, like Pearl Harbor Day, like Biden and Putin meeting on Pearl Harbor Day right before Russia-Ukraine kicks off, and now rumors of World War III when Pearl Harbor was what got us into World War II, and Pearl Harbor was acquired and fought for largely by Teddy Roosevelt for military strategic purposes. They say the fire began 8/8, but it didn't take over the headlines until August 9th. Hawaii is the 808, and remember a few years back they got the big scare that a nuke was inbound and they all needed to take shelter, and the text hit them at 8:08 in the morning in the 808 area code. Again, just playing these games by numbers, right? 88, 808, 808 text to scare the shit out of them. This is scaring the shit out of them. That a city can, a town can just burn up like this. And again, we warned about this, right? We said this year would probably be wild with things like this as they have to sell us their climate change agenda. Hawaii, huge tourist destination for people worldwide. So this is a spectacle for people worldwide. People are going, man, we've been there. Oh my God, we were just there. Man, we go there every year. Been there so many times. Again, these people, very clever, very sick, very ritualistic, and symbolic too. Why do you think they keep showing you again, the thing that I chose for the thumbnail, the burning roof? Um, they keep showing this shot over and over. And it resembles the pyramid, doesn't it? Symbolism, dollar bill that you know all over the place. Illuminati, Illuminati founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Okay, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. Short video coming on the Hunter Biden thing and why it's today as well. It's very obvious when you know Gematria. Till next time.